That's a big fish for up here in Georgian Bay. There we go. I've got a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Check this baby out. We're talking Payara. This is down in Venezuela, and this is one mean animal.
Coming up. On today's show, we're wrapping up some loose ends. First, Bob's in Ontario fishing in the Georgian Bay area of Lake Huron with actor and singer Michael Burgess. Then, we're off to South America to fish the fast and turbid waters of Uraima Falls in Venezuela for the ferocious Payara. Join us today for a real fishing episode that will take you on an adventure that you won't soon forget.
Yeah. You got one? Yeah. Double header.
Oh, it's a good one.
Here comes. Whoa.
Oh, where are you?
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta love it.
Where are you on?
All right. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, oh, man. Way to slide that one. Oh, there you got it. Yeah. There you go. All right. That is a monster.
The Real Fishing Show with Bob Izumi.
Nice one. Whoa. Woo-wee. That was pretty cool. Good stuff. Look at this baby. Biggest bite ever. All right. There it is. Oh, yeah. Good one. Whoa. Here he comes. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. This is what? Don't be fishing. This is all about right. 16 pounds. Look at that.
Real Fishing is sponsored by Chevy Trucks, Mercury, #1 on the water, and Tim Hortons.
Hey folks, that's what I call real fishing. We're starting today's show on the waters of Georgian Bay, Ontario, with one of Canada's most well-known entertainers, Michael Burgess. We're wrapping up our 2-day trip here at Deerhorn Lodge as we head out for one last quick fish before having to pack up. On a previous episode of Real Fishing, we saw Michael and I doing a number on some nice bass with the very powerful Gulp baits. We were fishing them mostly Texas rigged in and around islands and bays. It was amazing to see how long the fish would actually hold on to these baits. Sometimes I thought Michael was going to let the fish digest the darn things. But first, I can't stress this enough. As I mentioned on the previous episode, you must have good electronics when boating on these waters. So many of us anglers think of our electronics as something to help us find fish, but we sometimes forget that they're also great for determining the water depth and our location. The last thing you want to do is hit a shallow hump or point and wreck your boat, or even worse, get lost. And it's very easy to get lost here with the 30,000 islands. It only takes a few wrong turns to lose your way. Yeah.
Oh, it's dandy.
All right. Nice largemouth.
Oh, yeah.
Come right out of those lily pads. Oh, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. Lay them down there in that clear water.
He doesn't want to come up.
Look at that. Come on, Mr. Largemouth. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's dandy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, beauty. Way to go, Bob.
I let that sinky minnow go right down in the pads. And whoa.
Look at him.
All right. Look at this hooked right in the nose.
That's nice.
That is a good one there, boy. Look at that. Big broken jaw on him. Look at the lower lip.
Oh, yeah.
It's been caught before.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I wanted to say, Michael, to all the viewers, who are watching the show that want to come up to Georgian Bay and do some fishing, is that the largemouth population is very fragile. This fish here is probably 15, 18 years old, big old bass like that. And you want to make sure that you put these fish back in to live again. The fact is that these fish here are very precious. And, that fish is old. Why would you want to ever eat a big old largemouth like that when there's perch and panfish and more abundantly smallmouth, you know, you can keep a few of those to eat, but those big largemouth are special. I mean, that's such a nice fish.
That's beautiful.
And it's a dinosaur. I mean, that's a big fish for up here in Georgian Bay, and right in those lily pads, and let's see here, a little sinking minnow.
Good way to start the day, Bob.
Covered in the weeds. We were saving this spot, it's the second day out. We fished yesterday morning. got a lot of fish. And then yesterday afternoon, Wayne had some good success. We didn't catch as many, but then here we are, second morning out, and our last morning. We only got a little time to fish today, but yeah, love that gulp.
Gulp.
Up next on Real Fishing.
Look at that beaver. Look at that.
That's a Canadian beaver.
No kidding.
He's going to take my minnow. He's going to take my minnow.
Look at the size of that beaver.
He's a big boy.
Closed captioning is brought to you by FNCC and MotorExam.com. This tip of the week is sponsored by Coleman.
I'm here at the Berkeley headquarters, Spirit Lake, Iowa, and I'm with John Prochnow. John, thanks for coming on the show.
Nice to meet you.
Well, we met last night and talked a lot about all the different things that you do here at Berkeley. Now, you are involved in product development, right?
That's correct.
And you get to play with baits and formulas and all kinds of things. Some of the baits that you guys have come out with, in fact, all of them are incredible. What do we got here anyway? What is this?
Well, this is a scent dispersion demonstration that we're going to do here for you, Bob. It's actually showing the difference of Gulp from other plain plastic baits. Gulp is a water-based bait. What that means is water can diffuse into it and dissolve out the goodies, the scent and flavor that Dr. Jones and his group has come up with, and get it out to the fish and make your strike zone bigger so you get more fish in there.
Okay, so oil-based, which is what a lot of the other folks use, just doesn't disperse, right?
That's correct. Oil and water don't mix.
I got you. Okay, so let's see what we got.
All right, well, what I've got here, I've got a plain plastic bait here, and what I've done is I put 1% of a water-soluble dye in it, a red dye. That's to simulate what the fish attractant would be like. So we'll just put it right in the water, and you will see that it does have some color come off after a while. You can see just a little bit starting to come off there.
A little bit of red, but I mean it's very faint.
Exactly. Now with Gulp, the water-based system, this has got the same 1% of a red water-soluble dye in it. And when we put that in,
wow,
it's immediate. That's the same concentration, 1% of a red water-soluble dye in each one. One's in plastic, one's in the Gulp system.
So if a fish even gets remotely close to this, it's going to pick up on this dispersion of scent and eat it.
Exactly.
What about biodegradable?
Biodegradable, 100%. We've come up with a formulation that will actually degrade in less than 1 year. The demonstration that we showed you, or the display that showed the biodegradability of Gulp, you'll see you had a 1 week, 2 month, and a 9 month. What actually goes on there is we're actually showing you the degradation of Gulp. If it's lost in the water or on the ground or something like that, it actually gets bacteria that consumes, digests, and eats the product up and turns it back into its elemental stages: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, that type of thing.
It replaces live bait. In many cases now, if you're doing a fly-in fishing trip or going out with the family, or they don't have to mess with the live bait.
Oh, much simpler. Let me give you an analogy. If you're eating a sandwich, take the wrapper off, you eat it, it's just like eating Gulp. Now, if you leave that plastic bag on and try to eat the sandwich through the bag, that's what you're doing when you're using regular plain plastic baits.
I thought you were going to say if you don't have any meat for your sandwich, you put the Gulp on. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it.
Hey, good for coming down.
All right. Look at that beaver.
He's going to take my minnow. He's going to take my minnow. My sinking minnow.
Look at the size of that beaver. Look at that.
That's a Canadian beaver.
No kidding.
He's a big boy. There he goes under the dock.
Is he going to come out the other side?
He didn't scare that gigantic largemouth that was under there. Michael Burgess and Bob Izumi on the beaver hunt.
Come on, beaver, show yourself. Oh, here. Oh, I lost him. That was the bass.
Look at this, right here. Right.
Loon.
Is that? Oh, can they ever go underwater?
That's the loon. During our visit to Georgian Bay, we stayed at Deerhorn Lodge, which, lucky for us, not only offered a great view, but also fine dining. Hey, you know me, if there's good food, I'll be there. We had a chance to sit down with the owner and operator of the lodge, Laura Hay, to talk about her resort.
So we're 20 minutes from mainland. and we run a water taxi twice per day, back and forth from 12 Mile Bay. Depending on your group, it's included in the rate. Our accommodations, we have 15 suites in the lodge, and each room is different. All of our rates include meals, 3 meals a day. We really do like to focus on large groups, 15 to 30 people ideally, and to rent out the place as a whole. So it's like renting the island for either corporate groups, executive retreats, family reunions, weddings, that type of thing. That's really our core competency, and that's, we think, the best use of the facility. However, we do take reservations for smaller groups. So that's basically what we offer here. It's a private island retreat.
Unfortunately for us, we ran out of time and had to call it a trip. Georgian Bay is such a great place to visit, whether it be for a fishing trip to experience some of the best fishing found in Ontario or a vacation with the family. Georgian Bay really does offer a real outdoor adventure. And with resorts like Deerhorn Lodge, you can experience the outdoors while still surrounded by the comforts of home. Make sure to check out the area of Georgian Bay when you're planning your next trip.
Up next on Real Fishing.
Well, here I am. Bob Hepburn? Oh, Bob Hepburn. From the waters of Georgian Bay, Ontario, to the rapids of Urema Falls in southern Venezuela. We're wrapping up our trip from Venezuela, where we held a 2-day fishing tournament for peacock bass out of Surrender Resort, which we aired on a previous episode of Real Fishing. After the tournament, we had one more day of fishing, so we decided to travel to Urema Falls to try to hook into one of the world's meanest looking fish, a Payara. Payara are not only mean looking, but they're also mean fighters, which makes catching one of these monsters such a thrill. So on the last day, we all packed up and traveled to the plane that was going to fly us to the town of La Paragua. Once airborne, it didn't take us long to reach our destination. When we got off the plane, our taxis were waiting to take us to our boats. Nothing like our nice Suburbans back home, but they'll do. The town of La Paragua is located at the base of Lake Gurry and is full of local flavors. After a short ride through the town, we arrived at our boats. Once we were all boarded up, we took off to start the long but very scenic journey to Urema Falls. Here we go. Got one on. Here we go, old Stevie boy. Whoa! He's jumping. Here we go.
Oh, good one.
All right. It's pouring rain out here today. I got my buddy Steve Chantler from Barrie, Ontario with me. We're doing a little Payara fishing just near Lake Gurry, Venezuela here. It is pouring out. It's a warm rain though, isn't it, Steve?
It is warm.
You probably may know Steve from getting second place at the International Peacock Tournament, which ended yesterday on Lake Gurry. Him and Rick McCory from Montreal captured second. Wayne and I got third. The Venezuelan team beat us though. Steve's in the trucking business, Chantler Transport. And folks, this is what we're down here to do today. Have a little fun on Payara. They have an incredible set of teeth on them. We're talking a mean fish. Let's get it back here. Okay. And they are hardy fish. No problem. All right. Okay, Steve, your turn.
I'm working on it.
Let's take a look down under with this week's Fish Eye View, sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water. As you may have guessed, it takes an exceptional location to capture quality underwater video. For walleye, Guardian Eagle Resort in northwestern Ontario is truly amazing. As a matter of fact, it's literally infested with walleye and pike. For anglers, a typical day is 100 fish, more if your arms can take it. In Bob's own words, it's a walleye factory. Being a low-light, camera-shy fish, we had many failed attempts in other locations. Yet in 3 short days, we recorded hundreds of strike shots, and we didn't exactly have to rough it. As soon as you arrive, you know the fishing is going to be great when you see and feed the pet fish at the dock. Like most northern destinations, it's best to go with the flow and follow local advice. A jig head and minnow is hard to beat, though we did try to prove otherwise. Actually, it's a versatile, proven technique anywhere you find walleye. While this operation provides all you need, a selection of jigs and crankbaits will keep you quite busy. Hiring a guide is also a good idea on any unfamiliar waters. Besides safety, the fish aren't everywhere. Take it from us. If you're a true walleye fan, you owe yourself a trip to Guardian Eagle. Coming up.
You all right, Steve?
Yeah.
All right.
Not let him run. Ooh, it's a biggie.
All right. This will be Steve's first Payara. Nice one, Steve. Good one. Oh, Steve, nice jump. Nice one. Oh, nice one. Look at that. Go, man. Wow. After the fishing died down a bit, we decided to try trolling. The truth is, Steve's arm got sore from all that casting. But hey, I'm not calling him a wimp. Actually, Payara are caught mainly by trolling here, so we hit the rapids to see if we can come face to face with some more of these prehistoric looking fish.